You are in your cabin chewing on a roasted chicken leg while reading all the reports that need your attention. A sudden burst of sound catches your attention, several voices strongly arguing outside your door. The door opens while you're figuring where to throw the chicken bone, and you see your duty midshipman looking completely appalled. A couple of tough-looking bodyguards and an old man with a world-weary expression on his face. My name is Benjamin Franklin, and I have to be in France in 2 weeks. My fellows told me you were the right person to help me with this. Well, welcome aboard, Benny. And to the viewer, welcome to Ultimate Admirals. I'm Commander Tyrael, and we are fighting the war for independence. The Return. Sunday the 1st of March 1778. After a series of major victories by the Continental Fleet over the superior strength of the Royal Navy, Congress decided to send me to Europe. The American commissioners Benjamin Franklin, Silas Deane, and Arthur Lee are in negotiations with France, trying to upgrade our relations with the signing of an alliance treaty. My mission is to advise the commissioners with my strategic recommendations and to assist the American cause however possible. Soon I've started to make new plans on pursuing fame and glory in the waters of homeland. After we shall arrive and settle down in France, I'll prepare my fleet to sail for the western coasts of Britain. I'm planning to deliver a severe strike on the British merchant shipping. The Congress has decided to offer you the newly constructed frigate USS Ranger for your new adventures in Europe. Unfortunately, we don't need the Ranger, even though that was actually his ship, John Paul Jones. Admiral John Paul Jones was given the command of the Ranger and instructed to outfit her in Portsmouth. He has command until his arrival in France. Even before he sailed the Ranger into harm's way, however, the recalcitrance of the ship's complement threatened his ability to command her. Time and again, John Paul Jones' officers and crew were insubordinate and mutinous, questioning John Paul Jones's methods, tactics, and goals. In fact, as the crew returned to France following Ranger's moderately successful cruise, they submitted a petition to the American commissioners recommending that John Paul Jones be removed from command. Well, not in this Continental Navy, that's for sure. Our John Paul Jones is a master of the sea and he takes no shit. We've been given 125,000 credits to use, and we shall put them to good use. Now that we have a great access to funds as well as reputation, we're going to fit out our 2 flagships, the Trident and the Triumphant, with their maximum firepower. So we've got cutting sails, reduced weight on the gun carriages. I'm going to put fire control teams to reduce spread. We have wheeled gun carriages to reduce the reload time. I've changed the 18-pounders from Armstrongs to Blomefields, which weigh less but have the same performance. And then we've decreased the top deck guns from 9-pounder Armstrongs to 6-pounder Desaguliers guns, which have high range, high armor piercing. So the theory is that these will become high firepower, accurate, long-range sniping ships, and we're looking at a standard fleet speed of between 10 to 11 knots for the ships of the line. The Razzies aren't going to change their guns. I might put lighter guns on their bottom deck. The frigates are having reduced weight on the gun carriages, advanced cutting sails, and copper sheathing because we're going to make these flying frigates. We're going to get the maximum speed out of them that we can. So at the moment, 14.7 knots, which is very, very fast. I might change the guns to be Blomefield guns, which also weigh less, and then we can increase our crew complement, and they will be very fast, able to do what I need them to do. We've got 3 of them, and 3 is a great flying frigate squadron. We have 2 4th-rate Razzies in the Redeemer and the Reckoning. I'm not too sure what I'll do with those. They will be the end of the line, so we have the 2 3rd-rates at the front, the 2 4th-rates at the back. 3rd-rates do the battering, 4th-rates do the smashing and boarding. That's the theory. Smaller ships we can just destroy at will now. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how the fleet is going to play out. We're going to stick with a fast fleet, looking to cripple and disable our opponents before we board them. We're not going with the British's brute force approach that we took in that campaign. I wish I could change the 24-pounders, but unfortunately they are very limited in their weight range. if I ever get access to a bigger ship, I would love to put the 32-pounder French reboard guns, which are amazing guns with extremely long range. But I'm not too sure if we're going to get anything bigger than a third rate. The US campaign is much smaller in scope. Now we have the old friend. Now, you may not know who HMS Drake is, but I do, because I just did a mission where it was silly mission. It spawned us right on the edge, the wind was terrible, and I was expected to stop this fleet. And I couldn't do it. So I didn't make an episode about it, but we're on to the next mission now. July 1778, while patrolling the Irish Sea seeking for British merchant ships, a familiar sail spotted. The Royal sloop of war HMS Drake is met once again. This time, we are not going to give Drake a chance to escape and immediately threw your faster ship after it. Yes, faster. more firepower ship. I'm going to send the flagship Trident after the Drake. The Drake is fast. But I know she's not faster than my fleet. Damn, a British fleet is sailing against our ship. No doubt this pursuit was a trap to drift us closer to the main British force. And we are out of line. Our main force is left behind and we need to regroup and deal with this fatal threat. Fatal, we'll see about that. Fatal for the British, maybe. The British have the wind and any attempt to escape will be met with tragedy. Let's see about that. So USS Trident. Brand new fire control team, brand new cutting sails, reduced weight and faster reload, plus new cannons. The 6-pounder guns that I've put on, the Decisive guns, have great range, like excessively good range for a 6-pounder gun. So against light ships, they are going to shred, and at close range, they have fantastic penetration characteristics. So they seem to be a great all-round gun, but they're very rare. I have to really watch the shot for when they pop up. Oh, HMS Drake. Take that. USS Trident giving her 34 guns. And a lot of them have never been fired before. She's turning away, presenting her rear side. And I think this might be enough. That was brutal accuracy. Is this what we're going to expect from having fire control team on board? Those shots are pretty accurate. We've suffered from a lack of accuracy throughout the campaign, especially the early stages. And having a good crew, maybe I should focus the Trident's crew on accuracy now. Still shooting the stern. Let's aim amidships. And because of all the different reload rates, she seems to just have a constant stream of shells coming out. Okay, so this is the fatal threat we have to face. A couple of 6th rates, a 5th rate, another 6th rate, a 5th rate. Oh, it's a 4th. My bad. 4th rate's probably the only... Oh, HMS Drake is not getting away from that. Pinpoint accurate shot to the powder stores. And Drake is now a burning wreck. She may burn up before she even sinks. That was catastrophic. The rest of our fleet is in a scattered formation. We've got Triumphant running alone, USS Freedom and Fury in the flying frigates. I only had enough funds to upgrade 2 of the frigates to my required specs, so having the 3rd one out of the match is not such a bad thing. Alright, now we just have to prepare for the line to arrive. And you can see here that Trident's range is now quite substantial. And that, in fact, is a lot to do with the Decisive guns, which are only 6-pounders. There are 9-pound versions, but I didn't want to downgrade the middle deck to put a smaller gun on. So maybe the frigates will get the 9-pound Decisive guns? Maybe. But they're like hen's teeth. They've got to really watch the shop. I may have to spend some some career points in increasing the assortment at the shop as well. When I played the British campaign, I did not change a single cannon on any of my ships. We just didn't have the money. I was going hardcore crew, and the maintenance just strangled us most of the campaign. So there are a number of ways you could play the campaign, all up to personal play style. All right. The British have the wind, as the briefing said, but we are going to try and race across and get in front of them. If we can get ahead of them on a westerly track. Okay, they look like French ships. Are the French coming to help? Well, we're turning away from the line just so we can increase the closure time. The Trident is running at 11.5 knots. That's great. Those new sails have made her handle much better, especially against the wind. And the frigates, look at them go, 17.5 knots. So in the harbour, the speed stats is not necessarily accurate. Actually faster than what we were rated to go. 12 knots with the ship of the line, that's really good. 12.5 as we turn across the wind. Triumphant's following up at 12. The Redeemer and the Reckoning are travelling at 13 knots. I'm happy with that speed. That is really good. That's going to let us dictate a lot of battles. The fourth rates probably won't get across, but the frigates certainly will. USS Trident, look at the range with the assistance of the wind. That's 1,400 yards plus windage. And they were pretty accurate shots for that range. Whether the guns will be effective at that range is another question. Look at that, feeding the shells out, ripple fire, that's my way. Watching for splashes, adjusting your aim. Now we just need a rangefinder, a stereoscopic rangefinder, and we've the most advanced gunship of the era. Right, so we've been given control of the French. Sa Majesté, ships are at your service, Capitan. We don't really need the French. But if you didn't have this strength fleet when you got here, they would certainly be useful. But we outgun these guys. And at this rate, Vesuvius has lost some guns already. We're aiming for the mast. We've also given all of our crews the tireless trait, which gives them high condition. And I think that's going to work out really well, because as a ship continues to fire, it loses condition. So our ships will be in gun range longer than the enemy, if we play the doctrine right. Sort of aiming for a maneuver warfare style doctrine. That's the best you can adapt to the era. And I was trying to go with the whole American idea of guns, more guns. Always be firing your guns. I think that fits the theme. So Vesuvius is about to erupt. And she's still like 1,000 yards away. And as she gets closer, the heavier guns will be able to get better range in. The mid-deck guns only have a range of 1,150 yards, whereas the 24-pounder Beauregard long guns have, I think they're matched with the Desougulier guns. That's a tongue twister for an Anglo tongue. Oh, these guys are in trouble. Even as they try to turn across to get some guns on, we're still running fast. And then we have the French here to intercept the top of the line. Trident should be able to whittle away the first two ships before they're even closed for real combat. Triumphant's open fire. She's also got the benefit of range, having the same outfit as the Triumphant. I'm not too sure how those 6-pounder guns will go against a heavier ship, but against a light one, you're going to keep them at arm's length at all times. Standoff range. Let's turn across their face a bit more. Keeping the speed high, 12.5 knots still. With a heavy easterly. So we're getting maximum range from our guns now, thanks to the wind. And Vesuvius just got smashed. The rigging, all the plunking. She's going to have to drop out of the formation. Triumphant is just lobbing shots casually. There's no stress here. The Razzies, who are much shorter range for their heaviest guns, will sneak them in front of Triumphant. Vesuvius is done for. And you'll see that I'm going to go less for captures unless they are an expensive warship. So 6th rates are pretty much food for us now. Just need to make sure Triumphant doesn't run into them. Slow her down a bit and we'll slot her in behind the Razzies. The idea was to meet them up with Trident. But Trident's in such a good position now, she needs to keep that advantage. The French have almost arrived and they'll help finish off Vesuvius if she doesn't sink beforehand. We're going to turn away and get some more separation. We are faster than the British ships. Getting ready to slot Triumphant into the rear of this formation. And the wind has changed. We've got a nor'easter now. So that actually works in our enemy's favor. We're on the wrong side of the wind now. And so we've lost that benefit of range. Right, so the French might be useful. We'll throw them into the fray. Might try to come up their starboard side of their line. And then Trident can come across the face again. She is fast enough. She's got the wind behind her now. So we're going to be able to outsail the British. There's no telling what the British might do as the game goes on. Their ship builds might change. I struggled in the later stages of the British campaign because I didn't focus on armor. I was focused on maximum crew and heavy boarding actions. When we got close and we were fighting the Dutch and their carronades, they were doing some brutal damage to our ships. We didn't lose many. But the AI did seem very weak against that tactic. Like, you just swarm them and they ran out of options. Right, as that other formation gets the wind behind them, they should be able to catch up to the formation. Vesuvius is holding on. She managed to stop the flooding, and mainly because we stopped the fire onto her. But that's going to change as Redeemer comes up hard now, ready with the starboard guns. We might cut through their line if we have the opportunity. Flying frigates are coming up. So we've got 3 lines here to manage, as well as a lone ship. So we need to plan ahead so no one runs into each other. We'll turn the French with the wind. They are struggling a little. We'll break them out. All port turn. Go into line abreast formation to get into the wind. We could do that here too if we wanted, really. Just break them all off. Line abreast and just run through the formation. Poor Etna? Is it? Yeah, HMS Etna. So far, no one's been able to throw a shell back at the Trident, and Vesuvius has exploded, living up to her name. All aboard perishing in a fiery conflagration as the powder stores go up. It's a shame we missed that one. And I guess that's why sailors are so superstitious. Who would have expected a ship named Vesuvius to explode? HMS Etna at 2 exploding. So the corvettes really are food. We don't need them. It's just a waste of manpower to capture them now. The French in their almost line abreast formation, coming in at a sharp angle. If we turn back to starboard, we can get back into our standard line, which is good. Gives us some options. Trident is just a menace. I'm really liking these upgrades. The third rates are sturdy, but once they start being focused down, they can take a lot of damage. And they have a very big profile. We'll keep the flying frigates separate to the French. The French are much slower ships. We'll get Trident onto the 4th rate. Very, very Greek names, Hellenic names for this fleet. I think Crescent is the only one that's not really Hellenic in name. Alright, we have got 3 lines going. Trident's turning around to bring the guns around on the port side. The French are going to come up and line up 1 to 1. I think the French are fast enough. 9 knot speed. Flying frigates coming around the outside. If we can cut them off, we'll get them with the advantage of range. And also our Razzie fleet is going to match up as well. So we need to watch out for crossfire. Trident's going to cross the T. Start blocking this formation. We might even just board them all 1 for 1. We've got them where we want them. This mission probably would have already been easy, but with the addition of the French, it's going to be a cakewalk. Alright, here we go. Lining up the French ships. He's trying to get away. Trident blocked the approach. Turning towards the La Coquette. Freedom coming across the front. We have blocked the entire formation. The only way they can escape now is to turn to the southeast. And that wouldn't be great for them because we could chase them down with the frigates over the top. Alright, let's match them up 1 for 1. We might go for boarding actions where we can. The French will take the lead ship. Flying frigates will put on fire. Trident will turn away, trying to preserve some of her condition. Razzie's coming in on the Crescent. Redeemer first. Reckoning on the Hyena. And then Triumphant on the Medea. La Coquette is coming in on Actaeon. This is working out beautifully. Beautiful fleet action. Redeemer... Yeah, Redeemer should be fine to catch her. She's turning around hardboard against the wind. Nah, we're boarding her. Reckoning up on Hyena. Triumphant's a bit slow. Medea may die before we get to her. La Coquette is boarding Actaeon, but it looks like she's outmatched. I didn't look at the crew numbers. It's okay, it is a French ship. I won't hold it against them if they surrender. Alright, we've won. The Crescent has surrendered to... Yep, that's good. Yeah, Reckoning's being outrun by Hyena, but she'll run out of wind eventually, turning to starboard. Min crew on the Crescent, run away. Full sail on the Reckoning. We'll try and beat that turn. We're on the outside, so we're at a disadvantage. Medea is in big trouble. No pumps and flooding. Triumphant coming up on her rear side. The La Coquette has surrendered. That's my fault for not paying attention to the crew numbers. But now we're going to slam her between the Limpatient and the other La Serious. Trident and the flying frigates are formed up. They're just going to watch the rest of the battle fold. For all intents and purposes, we've won this action. British outsailed, outclassed, outgunned, outmanned, out everything. Medea has sunk, as I expected. She was brutally damaged by the fourth rates. Fourth rate Hyena is putting up a fight, but she's no match for our fleet. Redeemer, let's get a boat in the water to help the Crescent from sinking. She needs more men to take over the damage control. All 30 men on board are trying to stop the flooding. No one sailing the ship. Hyena's being boarded by the Reckoning. Triumphant lassoing her. British survivors are trying to get to Hyena. La Coquette has been boarded by the British. French ship has been lost. That's it. We're going to have to go violent now. Wind has changed to east. Sub-Lieutenant is injured. Hyena has surrendered. Quick, get some men on board before that survivor boat gets up on board. Min crew, there you go. She's ours. We don't need another fourth rate. I think I may sell that one. She's worth a fair amount, and that'll let us upgrade the rest of the fleet. The only ships I'm looking to capture and keep now would be another third-rate Ardent class to match our others, Trident and Triumphant, or a second or a first rate, but I don't know if we'll see one. Were there any second rates used in the War of Independence? I don't know. I don't know too much about those battles. French midshipman has been wounded. Poor guy. Actaeon will soon surrender to the French. We do have the issue of the La Coquette, former French ship now boarded by a skeleton crew of British men. Actaeon has surrendered. Crescent. She can't take any more crew on board for some reason. And she's sinking violently. So we need to try and get La Coquette destroyed or captured. As a matter of course, before that ship sinks. Do we just get Actaeon to hop across? It's a bit of an issue here. We're tangled up. Oh, she's sinking bad, that's why. She can't go anywhere. She's got water in the hold. At least I thought I saw water, but now it's gone. There it is, again. Yeah, she's done for. Yes, we finished it. Great mission. Like I said, we outgunned, outfought, outsailed, outclassed the British. I just wanted to say thank you for all the comments, tips, likes, loves, watches, and views. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more, keep doing it and I'll keep making them for you. I'm pretty sure we have a few years left until the end of the war, but I would say maybe 8 or 10 battles. And they're only going to scale up now that we're in the European theatre. I wonder if we will attack the city or the town of Whitehaven, as I believe John Paul Jones actually did. And I fought that mission in the British campaign, so I'd like to see the US side of it. If you would like to see it, I'll see you then. Commander Tyrael, out.